Welcome back, Nerd Squad. My name is Roya Destroya, and this is Top 10 Nerd. They take on the dirty tasks our heroes don't, they do half the work, or maybe even 75%, and they don't always get the recognition they deserve. So because there are more than 10 awesome sidekicks kicking, we've made a part 2 to celebrate the better halves of our favorite duos. So let's take a look at the top 10 best sidekicks, and this is part 2. In the number 10 spot, we have Ace the Bat-Hound, because what better way to kick off the list than with man's best friend? Batman's best friend in particular. Ace was introduced to us in Batman number 92. Pre-crisis, he is a German Shepherd who was recovered by Batman and Robin when his owner was kidnapped, and they became the official owners of the new pooch. Being a dog, his strengths lie in his loyalty and the ability to track down and apprehend criminals, and of course give superpowered cuddles. Coming in at number 9 is Harley Quinn. Though no longer a sidekick to anyone, Harley Quinn debuted in Batman the animated series as sidekick to the Joker, and continued the role for many years. Initially, she wasn't even supposed to be a recurring character, but a one-off to help the Joker in the episode Joker's Favor. The character hit it big with audiences and she stayed on, soon becoming one of comics' greatest supervillains long after her time as a sidekick. Next up at number 8, we got Hit Girl. Mindy McCready first appeared on paper in 2008's Kick-Ass number 3. From a young age, she was trained to be a lethal assassin by her father. She's not even a teenager and beating bad guys to a pulp and swearing up a storm more than most superheroes. She is portrayed in the films by Chloe Grace Moretz, who has sadly outgrown the role if there ever was a Kick-Ass 3 in the works. Fun fact though, I was actually an extra in Kick-Ass 2, right at the beginning outside school scene in a red cardigan.
Turns out somebody had. Mindy McCready. After her dad died, his old partner on the force, Marcus, became her guardian.
Is that a pink pony bag she's wearing? Nice backpack. Thanks. Steal it from a 6-year-old?
Give me a shout out if you can spot the Roya. In the number 7 spot is Luigi. Although some would argue that Luigi was more so an equal partner to Mario, rather than a sidekick, he does frequently play the role of sidekick to his more famous brother. Not that there is anything to be ashamed of in that. Luigi Mario, yes, that is his full name, was first introduced to us in 1983, and since then has had his claim to fame in countless forms of media, many of them being his own solo spin-offs. March 2013 to March 2014 was even dubbed Year of the Luigi by Nintendo to celebrate the underdog. Coming in at number 6, we have Jimmy Olsen. No, not a sidekick to the Olsen twins, but Superman's Jimmy Olsen. He may not be the most active sidekick on the list, but he is so much more than just a kid with a camera. We first meet Jimmy Olsen officially on the radio show The Adventures of Superman, and though he has no superpowers himself, he accomplishes what every sidekick should do. He keeps Clark Kent grounded, highlights his compassionate side, and supports and worships him endlessly and, most importantly, reliably. Coming in at number 5 is Mini-Me. Dr. Evil created himself the perfect sidekick in the Austin Powers franchise, and he also created us one of our top sidekicks. Mini-Me, who is depicted by Vern Troyer in the films, is created the same as Dr. Evil but 1/8 his size, and the smaller the body, the greater the viciousness. Thanks to Mini-Me, the already funny series was made even more hilarious, and his face really put the Austin Powers franchise on the map for its time. Up next at number 4 is Speedy. Speedy is not the sidekick of the Flash, as could be expected by the name, but rather the sidekick of Green Arrow. The first Speedy, Roy Harper Jr., was first brought to us in More Fun Comics number 73, and he participates in an archery contest judged by Green Arrow, where he proves his usefulness as a sidekick in stopping a robbery. Not only was he Green Arrow's right-hand man, but he starred in an anti-drug miniseries, Snowbirds Don't Fly, centered around Harper's heroin addiction, so the guy had an even more important role than sidekick there. In the number 3 spot, we have Batgirl. The iconic Batgirl is Barbara Gordon, the daughter of Commissioner Gordon, who first made pages in the $1 million debut of Batgirl. Batgirl was introduced as a secondary sidekick to Batman to draw more female audiences to the 60s Batman TV series. She was one of the few people Batman trusted wholeheartedly, but then she was shot and paralyzed by the Joker in an attempt to drive Commissioner Gordon insane. Even then, she became Oracle and continued to help Batman any way she could. Nothing holds this girl down. Coming in at number 2, we got Donkey. Somebody once told me that Donkey was right up there with the best of the sidekicks, and it's really not hard to see why. Donkey is the epitome of the perfect sidekick. He is loyal, he doesn't find fault with his hero Shrek, he's positive, he can kick butt when time calls, and he provides tons of comedic relief. His personality is the yin to Shrek's yang, and their balance is part of what made the Shrek franchise such a success. And finally, in the number 1 spot, we've got Bucky Barnes. We first met Bucky in Captain America number 1, and was named after writer Joe Simon's friend Bucky Bucky Pearson, a basketball star at their high school. He was glued to Captain America's side and gained a fast following until he was killed in 1948. And we're talking Uncle Ben type death. The guy was gone for good. For good until 50 years later he resurfaced as the brainwashed Winter Soldier. His death had such a huge impact in the comic book world that it was used as an explanation for the lack of Marvel sidekicks. No hero wanted to be responsible for a minor's danger. So those were the top 10 best sidekicks part 2. Let me know in the comment section down below who is your favorite sidekick. My name is Roya Destroya, thanks for watching, and don't forget to subscribe so you never miss another nerdy list.